Hey, how's it going? Happy Tuesday. So, Matt Burgan here with the Fidelis Group of Remax One. I'm meeting with my buddy Steve Coombs. And this is sort of like an ad hoc idea. We want to put this video together. So, twice a week, Steve and I meet and we go through all of our active clients and transactions and just so we're up to date on what's occurred, what needs to be done, and
what's coming down the pipe.
Yeah, what the future looks like for each individual client. So whilst having that conversation, we kind of had a little bit of an epiphany that that there is a myth, a real estate myth that exists out there that really needs to get addressed. And that myth is that if you want to sell your home, you don't do it in the winter.
Gotta wait till spring.
So we're going to go over this, and I'm going to let Steve play the role of the either naive or uninformed individual that's telling you,
Sweet,
don't sell your home in the winter, and then I'm going to proceed to sink this battleship with data.
Well, first and foremost, what pops in my mind, I don't think, frankly, that you should sell your home in the wintertime because of the holidays. You don't want people walking through your house during the holidays.
Okay. So if you look at the market data, there's a huge spike in home sales about 30 days out from Thanksgiving, and that's because people want to be in their new home before Thanksgiving. And then, wouldn't you know it, there's another big spike about 30 days out from Christmas, and that's because people want to be in their new home before Christmas.
Okay, fine. All right, so how about this? My home's not going to look quite as good until spring because I want my grass to grow, the trees to bloom, and all that stuff.
Okay. So if you're referring to the pictures online, I can sort of understand that. But again, let's follow the data. So there is information out there that suggests if you follow home sales, if you just look solely at home sales, it does look a little bit like a bell curve. So in the winter, there are less home sales. In the summer, so spring, summer, there are more home sales. And in the fall, it goes back down a little bit and it flattens out in the winter. So if you just looked at this, I can understand. But the problem is there's a direct correlation between available inventory and units sold. Make sense? The more homes that are available on the market, the more homes get sold. This dotted line here is buyer. So buyer total stays stagnant. People get raises, people's leases run up, people move into the area, people inherit money for whatever reason. People build their savings up to a point where they're now postured to procure a property. The problem is there's always buyers. But what we see is, because of this existing myth that hopefully we'll bust today, the inventory that exists in the winter is usually what we refer to as stagnant inventory. It's rolled over from the previous sales season because it's either overpriced, in a subpar condition, or in a subpar location. So what that means is the advantage of selling your home in the winter. So we've got a high volume of buyers, but a low volume of inventory. I call it feeding the fish. So when you've got a bunch of people in the winter that are chopping at the bit to buy a home because of one of the aforementioned reasons, but there's no good inventory out there, and I get one of my clients to just trust me a little bit, and we roll the dice, and I bring to the market a well-priced, new piece of inventory, it's just like throwing the fish food in. All the fish want to jump on that. Highest foot traffic, highest number of showings, more than likely you find yourself in a multiple offer scenario. But what's even more important is that when people wait until the spring, right now, and I'll let Steve speak to it, right now interest rates are amazing. So why would you wait until the spring if you're selling your home with the intent of purchasing another one? Why would you shoot yourself in the foot to wait till the spring to spend more time on market because there's more competition, because there's more inventory, and you're competing to buy a home at a higher interest rate where you could have sold your home faster in the winter and got a lower interest rate?
Yeah, I mean, right now, this is an anomaly, right? So we have rates that are 1% lower, literally, than they were this time last year. And so when you have lower interest rates, you have higher affordability. So for the same monthly payment, you can afford more home today than you could this time last year. So this is like an added benefit. But what he's talking about is, don't wait for the competition to be ready, so that now you have to compete on price and location and all the amenities with somebody else who's waiting until the spring. Because frankly, that doesn't necessarily make sense. I mentioned before that the buyers who are ready now are ready now. And if somebody's seeing constantly that rates are really low right now, they're thinking to themselves, well, why don't I just buy a home now? Or why don't I buy it now and I'm in for the holidays? Or why don't I buy it now and this is my New Year's resolution? I want to be a homeowner in 2020. There are plenty of reasons to do it, and interest rates is just one of them.
So we'll wrap this up. We'll post it to social media and all the things. But if you have any questions or you've heard anything else that does not align to our belief that it makes perfect sense to sell a home in the winter, or if you don't think I'm telling the truth, I invite you to prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong.
And I'll back it up with data why it makes no sense to not attack a winter market.
Thanks a lot.